like chocolate ice cream or mango ice cream. You don't like either of them. So, how do you respond to those when you want to share what you like or don't like? I'm going to show you today how you could use the neutral framework when you do not want to choose either of the sides. If you have not met me before, I am Deepti and I'm here to help you master your impromptu speaking skills and build your confidence. I am doing this live for a few weeks now and I hope you all enjoyed and I like the comments people have shared with me and the feedback. So today I'm going to explain how you do impromptu speaking with a framework. I've already talked about why impromptu speaking and why people don't do it. And if you want more, go watch that video. Last time I shared another framework where I called it the Pendulum framework. If you want more details about it, go watch that. So today I'm going to talk about a different framework. The reason I'm giving you all these frameworks is there are instances where you want to use one or the other, and learning these will help you, or it's like having these tools in your tool bag and you can pull out the right tool for the right occasion. Today I'm going to share what I call a Swiss framework. And for people who know, Swiss is a neutral country. Just like that, when you are asked a question about two things or maybe multiple things and you don't agree with any of them or you don't have an opinion, you could use this. So here is how you would do this. This is very similar to the pendulum method that I talked about last time. You explore both sides of the argument, but instead of choosing one side, you take the middle path. This is used when you feel that both sides do not have merits, or maybe both sides are not what you want. So you could use this in several occasions. And as I explained in the introduction, if you like chocolate ice cream or mango ice cream, I will demonstrate how I would use this framework for that. So what do you want to do first in this framework? When you're using this framework, state your neutral point. Whether you want to be politically correct or you simply have no strong opinion on one topic, state your neutral point and take the middle path. You could also be doing this because you strongly disagree with both of them. You could shock everyone by announcing that you disagree with both sides. But here is the thing. When you do this shocking, do it confidently and somewhat defiantly. Don't go say, oh, I don't like this, because you want to say, you have to show your opinion and that you strongly disagree. I say, I strongly disagree with that way of thinking. So when you start out, start saying what your opinion is, what your stance is. This is state your neutral point. Then explain both views. Instead of exploring the benefits, the pros and cons of both sides of the argument, like I did in the previous video, where I shared the pendulum network, share why you disagree with both sides. For this to work, you need to have some strong arguments or strong emotional reasons why both sides don't work for you. It doesn't mean that the other person, you're not imposing your opinion on the other person, you're just sharing your opinion. So why it doesn't work for you. You just have to show that. And conclude by restating your neutral point. And if you can offer an alternative, and not that I want you to start a revolution, but you could start it. What I'm trying to say is maybe this and that may not work, but this one has parts of this and that. So you could show them that there is a neutral or a middle path where you could take some of the points of both sides. So you're taking from that side and this side. So you could do this. If somebody came to you and said, do you like chocolate ice cream or mango ice cream? I would take a minute and then say, I don't like either of them. I am a vanilla kind of a person. I completely dislike the other two flavors as ice cream. And here is what I think. So chocolate has a very strong flavor and it doesn't blend well with other things. There are a few things you could add to it. You can't add a lot of things to it. And it's an overpowering flavor. And it has more sugar than vanilla. Mango ice cream. Oh, I love mangoes. But mango ice cream, it is so sweet compared to a vanilla ice cream. Mango is super sweet. As it is, the fruit is sweet, and then they add more sugar on top of it. And mango, again, is something that doesn't blend well with other things. You can't add a lot of things into it, like toppings. And mango sometimes has a very sour taste to it. So I like vanilla. Vanilla is simple, pure, and here is the best part. You can add anything onto it. You could add some coconut on it. You could add mango pieces on it. You could add some bits of chocolate into it. You could add nuts into it, and they all go well. Vanilla is the base, and this way it makes it where you can combine both the chocolate and love of mango into vanilla, and vanilla is the base. So you start with a simple, unassuming base and then make it your own. And that's why I think chocolate and mango, in my opinion, are not the good flavors as ice cream. I like vanilla ice cream. So you see how I did that. I told them why chocolate is ice cream was not something that I would prefer. And even though I love mangoes, I would not prefer eating mango ice cream. So I chose something that was very easy so I could show how this doesn't have to be a controversial issue, but you could talk about many things. It could be politics, it could be religion. There are so many things that are controversial, and you could use this and show that, hey, I don't think either of them are right. This is what I think is a better option. And as I said, if you can in your final, when you state your neutral point again, if you can keep them saying, but there are things of this I like and things of that I like, and this is how I would blend it. So that is a great way of trying to do this. And where there are many instances where you could use this. One of the instances, as I said, was when somebody is talking about politics and you want you they show there are two sides of the argument, and you say, I really don't think either of them appeal to me, and this is why. It could also be when somebody says, oh, what movie do you want to watch today? Can we do Netflix, and what do you want to watch? You either don't like the drama or you don't like the comedy, you want to watch more of some historical fiction. So you can use this in many different occasions. And when you would use this against the pendulum is when you have a very strong opinion. As I said, you should have a very strong opinion or some emotion to it. For instance, if somebody came and said, do you want to watch Beautiful Mind or do you want to watch Titanic? The two options of movie. I have a strong emotion against Beautiful Mind. I'm not saying the movie is bad, but I have some personal reasons why I cannot watch that movie. I don't like Titanic because I think it is so much more glorified than the actual story. So you could use it that way. And I say, no, I don't like either of them. Let's watch something else. So this kind of blends itself very well. Whereas in the pendulum method, I was saying that you could use when you want to choose one side. Let's say you wanted to watch Titanic because maybe you like the songs or you like the actors. So you say, oh, no, I like Beautiful Mind and I also like Titanic, but today I feel like I want to watch. So that's when you use the pendulum method. But when you want to stay neutral or you want to say, no, both of them, neither of them work for me, you use this method. And I chose this name as Swiss because if you want to be very neutral, let's say you're talking about something controversial and you don't want to get into the controversy, so you can choose this and say, oh, I think I prefer this and I want to stick to this. And this one, you need a little more practice or you need a little more thought on how you do this because you want to bring your points or your opinion into this conversation, but you also want to give the other person a little, like an open door. You want to keep it slightly open so the person can then, let's say you were talking about the movies between Beautiful Mind and Titanic. If you tell them you disagree and you don't want the conversation to go on, oh, why do you think this or that, so you may want the conversation to go on, okay, let's choose something else, kind of lead it in that direction. So you get to choose how you want the next part of the conversation to go. So you could choose this method, this framework, when you don't want to shut the conversation but you want to extend the conversation. So when you state your neutral point again, you, as I said, you kind of bring some parts of this side and that side and offer something new. Or if you want to completely shut the other person down and not carry on this conversation, you just say, no, this is not working out for me. I don't like this or that. I'm done and this is where I stand. So you could do that too, but generally I would prefer, because when you're speaking, it's a communication. So when you want to communicate, you want to keep the conversation going. So that's why I say use this, and when you state it again, kind of give an opening so the other person can then respond to your opinion and say, oh, so then does this work for you? Or they could even extend the conversation a little further. So this method I have found is very useful at work also. And also I use this in my regular conversations with my family. And it's something that you learn how to do this by practicing this, and as I said, having special paying special attention to how you state your neutral point, how you conclude your opinion, the conversation. I'm hoping whatever I said was clear, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to go check the chat. I haven't seen the chat So I haven't seen anything so far. So again, this is the Swiss framework. So the 3 steps are: state your neutral point first, 2 sides, explain both sides, but explain and tell them why you disagree. And third, state your neutral point again and bring in kind of an opening. So as I've done before, I'm going to demonstrate. So I take a randomly generated question and I talk about it for less than 3 minutes. More than 30 seconds, but less than 3 minutes. That's the plan. So today I have these randomly generated questions. Let me take a look at it and then see which one blends well for this framework. Which do you like better, Coke or Pepsi? Okay, I think among these 5 randomly generated questions, which do you like better, Coke or Pepsi blends well? And I will try it. Which do you like better, Coke or Pepsi? I do not like either of them. I like plain water. And some of you might say, oh, but that was not an option. But I'll tell you why. Coke, it has a lot of sugar. Even when they say it's 0 calories, it does have calories, and it's useless calories. And Coke is also bad for your teeth. Not that I have great teeth, but I still want to maintain what I have. 3, I just generally don't like the flavor of Coke. I've never liked it. Pepsi. Pepsi also is not great for your teeth. It has 0 calories and it's just wasteful calories. I used to like Pepsi a little more than Coke, but I still think it just doesn't add anything to my body. It actually hurts my body. So I like just water. I like water, and if I want to flavor my water, I will add lime. I will add ice cubes into it, and I will add some crushed mint or some other herb that kind of gives me a flavor to just plain water. Water is very helpful. It is one of the core ingredients for our body. We need water every day. We cannot survive. And sometimes water is the sweetest thing. And hence, I think Coke and Pepsi are not at all good for your health. And water is the best option for you. So there, I did it under 3 minutes. At the beginning, I said, hey, I like water. I don't like either Coke or Pepsi. And I told what I did not like about each of them. And in the end, I said, I like water, but because I know people want to have just plain water, just give me something more. It's like just too boring water. So that's why I said, oh, when I want to make it more flavorful, I add lime, I add ice. So you could say there are things that you could add to just plain water, something that's healthy, something that doesn't cause your teeth. The acid in Pepsi or Coke will erode your enamel. So it's not good. So just plain water. And so I gave them why water is better and how I would make an improvement. So this kind of opens the door for somebody else to say, oh, So you not just like water, but you add, I we see that you're adding other things to make it more interesting. So this, as you saw, this is a great way of trying to see which ones work well for this. As you noticed, when I looked through those 5 randomly generated questions, I took a minute and I said, okay, this works because I don't like either of them. Honestly, I think I have not had one of those Coke or Pepsi in over 15 years. I generally don't like them. I just like water. So it was easy for me because I had strong emotional opinion about them. There are some things that you may not have such a strong opinion, but you could still say, I just disagree with these. I disagree with them. Or, for instance, let's say Beautiful Mind or Titanic. I personally don't have any disagreement with the movie. I said the movie is great. Titanic I've never seen, but I've heard that it's really great and the songs are really good. I love Celine Dion, so she's a great singer. I like the songs. I don't have disagreements with them. It is just that I have some opinion in the sense of I have some issues with them. So you could use this in on that occasion. And one of the things I also want to emphasize is when you start this trying to go through the neutral method, there could be occasions where you could agree with some of those, like for instance, with the movie example. I personally am not against the story of Beautiful Mind or Titanic or the actors, or in the case of Titanic, the music. I do not disagree with the whole thing. So you could use this even on things that you personal level you disagree, but at a broader level you're fine with it. You're not saying, oh, that's something I would never want to do, something like watch a drama or so. So all of them, you don't have to disagree with all of the issues on one side or the other side. It is just that if you have something very strong about either of them, you say, I don't like this because of this, I don't like this because of this. And so I would rather choose something or neither, something else, or don't do anything. So for example, in the case of the movies, I would say I like the actors, I like that, but I have something personal. I don't like to watch it because of my personal reasons. And if based on with who you're talking, you could even share what your main reasons are for not watching this movie. And you could, on the Titanic, as I said, the actors are good and it's obviously has really good songs. You could say those are all great, but I don't like that kind of movie, or I do not care for it. I don't want to waste my time on it. I want to watch something much more that I like, or whatever my benefit is, right? So you could, as I said, you don't have to disagree with the whole thing. You could have some things that may not work. So for instance, on The Beautiful Mind, I'm nothing against the story or the actors. It's something about personally about the concept of it that I have some issues. And Titanic, it doesn't excite me. There may be great people, there may be great songs, but it doesn't excite me to spend, I don't know, however long that movie is. I know it's a long movie. So you could do that too and say, I don't like either of them, and this is what I would rather write. Or you say, I don't want either of them. I'll just fine. I don't want to watch movie. So at this point, I think I've showed you how to use it, where you could use it, and what are the ways of using it. So let me check if there's anything on the chat. I don't see anything on the chat. I invite anyone who's on this live to come join on video. The only way you can improve is by practicing. I am practicing too, even though I may be much farther advanced than a lot of people. I still practice because it is something that you only practice and you just get better. You improve as you practice. So if you want to join, there are three things, actually four things. One is I'm using an app, so it only works on the software platform, works only on Google Chrome. And you have to DM me on Twitter at Art of Storytelling. I've shared the spelling here because it's a little bit unique. And I will generate new random questions, and you can choose one of them, and you have to answer it under 3 minutes. It's a max of 3 minutes, and anything over 30 seconds is fine. The fourth thing that I haven't put here is, since you're going to be coming on live and you're going to be on video, this is being recorded. If you want to come on live, that means you've given me the permission to use your video or your image, because this video is going to be on my YouTube channel. And so I'm hoping that you have given me that permission. By agreeing to come on, you've given me the permission. But here is what I want you to do is, even if you are unable or you are not yet at that spot where you're ready to come on, I encourage you to practice this even on your own. Just take the questions I had and just practice. Practice. A lot of you may have Zoom, so just practice. Just practice with by yourself. Record it on Zoom. Practice this and see how you show up as. Sometimes, if you have never done this before, it is a little bit challenging and scary to do this. You may not be able to overcome that within this live, but if you are able to do it on Zoom, do it a couple of times. Practice this on your own. You don't need to have an audience. As you start practicing, you can practice the same question multiple ways. Do you like Coke or Pepsi? Which do you like? You could practice it multiple times with multiple answers and multiple solutions, even multiple frameworks. But once you start practicing it on your own, when you feel like nobody else is watching you, record it on Zoom and then watch it again. You don't have to share it with anyone. You don't have to go to an event to do this. You can do this on your own. I urge you all to take the time to do this. By doing this on your own with some of the questions, you will start gaining that confidence. The whole idea I'm doing this is to help you build your confidence. I'm not expecting you to be on a TED Talk, but if that is your goal, that's fine. But that doesn't have to be the only goal. If you just want to talk, if you want to be interesting, if you go to networking events, or if you're at a social gathering or at a dinner party, you want to have conversations that are interesting, practice this. Practice this on your own. As I said, most people today have Zoom, and when you're on your own, you can record this. Just pretend you're talking to somebody. Just pretend you're on this live and just record on Zoom. And I will share the URL to the random generation website. This way you can randomly generate some questions, and there could be other things that may work better for you. So use that. I will share all the links there in the description after this live. Use those links to practice and get more comfortable in talking. Practice this framework. Practice the one that I shared the last video. So go and check that video if you haven't watched it. Check that video and practice that too. And there could be other things that you might find you yourself. It doesn't have to be a framework I teach. You may have a different way of doing. I am sharing these frameworks so you at least have some building blocks. After that, you can go buy new set and design your own ideas. They're like the building blocks, so you kind of start building up. As I said, I have at least 15. I may have more than 15. I will, as I keep doing this, I will add more to my framework toolbox. And this is a toolbox I just have, and I keep collecting as I experiment and I learn about new things and I practice different things. So next week I'm going to share completely different. So this video I've shared this kind of choice between two, and in the previous one also I shared a choice between the two. So next time I will share something completely different so that it kind of brings it a little newness to it. If you disagree with both of the options provided to you, you could always take the neutral path, the middle one. And I've showed you how to do that. You don't have to be scared or shy about saying, I disagree with both, and here is where I am going.